Munson with Munson jam tracks, and we're going to talk a little bit about how you could use Munson jam tracks to kind of say some things with your instrument, whatever it happens to be, and how you can transpose pretty easily, I guess, to other keys, or at least try to. So we're going to start off with kind of a C major groove, actually, and this is kind of cool. I've got a lot of videos on how you would solo over major stuff. So you could use kind of the notes of the chord. Actually, we're going to work with a C major chord. You know that for the guitar, and then we'll kind of look at it on other instruments. So we're going to start off with kind of that C, E, and G idea. So just those particular notes, and I've pulled up a jazz jam track, actually, from Munson jam tracks, and I'm working a C major 7 kind of groove. And so you kind of use just those notes of the scale, or of the chord, to get some cool sounds going over that chord. Or you could use a major scale, kind of the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do for C, kind of your natural notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Is kind of in that scale pattern. Or if you're familiar with pentatonic scales, you could use kind of an A minor C major pentatonic scale. So kind of pattern 1 from 5th fret. So kind of 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. Fair game to kind of use as an alphabet to make up words and to say stuff with your instrument. So that's how that would kind of work on the guitar. Now let's look at what it would look like on the piano. Now on the piano, a C major chord is C, E's, and G notes. And in this particular case, with this particular jam, actually I'm adding in a B note, which is major 7, kind of C, E, G, and B, or root 3, 5, 7 for that chord. So you could even use just little pieces of that chord. Kind of say some stuff over that jam. Or you could use some major scalage, so kind of the C major scale, all the white keys. Now, there's lots of other possibilities here too. Actually, you could even take an idea of doing the B to C as a lead, maybe a half step below the E as a lead into that note of the chord, F sharp as a lead to the G, and then maybe even kind of working it back to that BC. So you don't necessarily have to keep it in the scale, but it can be kind of cool to work it. Because the main thing is to point to those notes of the chord. So even working it from above as a lead can be cool too. D flat lead to the C. So even though it's a 1-chord jam and we're talking about scales and chords, you don't necessarily have to keep it there if you didn't want to. And there's ways to get all these notes, all the whole chromatic scale to work. How you're pointing to the notes of the chord, because these guys are going to sound more important than everybody else. Now for other instruments, if you're playing other string instruments, it can be cool just to practice just your C major chord. So let's take a look at what that would look like on some chord instruments. So on the mandolin, your basic C major chord is putting first finger on the D string on the 2nd fret, second finger on the A string on the 3rd fret. So I can even make up rhythms around this groove some chord stuff around it. Or you may even kind of gravitate towards a C major scale, kind of that C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then if you kept it going, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. As long as you keep it in the scale, it'll still sound really good. Kind of make up some stuff around that chord. Alright, let's look at it on banjo. So your basic C chord on banjo is first finger on the second string on the first fret, second finger on the fourth string on the second fret, third finger on the other D string, first string D. Kind of a C group. And if you know roll patterns for the banjo, you can kind of try and find a groove that would work, or a roll pattern that you know, kind of work the C major chord. There's lots of other C chords on the banjo too. You can do a bar on 5th fret, and that's another C chord. So you can work a groove or roll pattern around that. Or another one would be going all the way to 8th fret on the 2nd string, 9 on the 3rd string, 3rd finger on the 4th string on the 10th fret, pinky on the 1st string on the 10th fret. It's kind of another little C chord. So it might be kind of cool to work some roll patterns around the chord, or make up some rhythms just like Mandolin. Or you can even follow the scale, kind of that C, and then D, E, F, G, A, B, C. It's going to be kind of cool, like little note find exercise to take a jam track and look at what notes are there and then try and find those notes on your instrument. But let's take a look at what it would look like on violin. So on the violin, we can do that same kind of thing, finding that C note and the D and the E and the F and the A and the B and the C, kind of working major scale ideas. That kind of an idea. Or you could even take just those notes of the chord, the C, E, and G. And kind of work just those notes of the chord. So getting that B and C in there too. But let's take a look at what it would look like on ukulele. So on ukulele, your 3rd fret on the 1st string actually is your C chord, actually just kind of playing that with the open strings. So you can even play around with rhythm ideas for the C chord. Or I'm kind of throwing in that B note on the 1st string. Kind of moving around the chord a little bit. Or you can work the C major scale. What you could say with all the notes of that chord or the notes of the scale. But let's take a look at what it would look like on some instruments actually that aren't too pitched. These are all concert pitch instruments. So when I play a C note on the ukulele, it's really a C note. But there are a couple instruments, especially winds, that do something called transposition. So let's take a look at those. Now your typical trumpet is a B flat major instrument, which means when it plays a C note, it actually sounds a B flat, which is a little weird. There's a lot of music history behind that. But if I just try and play a C major scale to this, it's just not gonna sound right. So what you have to do is think up a whole step or 2 half steps to get there. So if I want to play a C major, a real C major, on a B flat major trumpet, what I have to do is think up C to C sharp to D. So C to D is a whole step. So I have to actually think a D major scale to get that to work. Hopefully you got a little chart on your screen that tells you what major scale to really play if you're playing B flat trumpet. That would also go for B flat clarinet or any other B flat instrument. If you play tenor sax or if you play So there's other D flat major instruments out there, soprano sax. But let's take a look at what it would look like on a saxophone. Now on saxophone, and this is an alto saxophone, it's keyed in E flat, which means when I play a C note, it actually sounds an E flat note. So if I actually tried to play just a C major scale over the top of this C major groove, it might sound a little off. So what I actually have to do is kind of do the same kind of thought process that I did with the trumpet. But now when I play a C note, I actually sound an E flat note. So what that would be a difference of is kind of 3 half steps, kind of C to C sharp to D, D to D sharp, kind of the E flat. So 3 half steps. So this is a little weird. So if we've got, instead of a C major scale, I have to kind of think down 3 half steps. So I have to go C to B, B to B flat to A. So if I think of an A major scale on the alto sax, then that works over a C major groove. We have to kind of play around with that a little bit. Now, another instrument that you may play is horn or mellophone, which is keyed in F. So let's take a look at what that would look like. So this is my fugal horn in F, and if I played a C major groove over this, it's going to sound a little bit off, kind of. So what I actually have to do with this particular instrument, when I play a C, it sounds an F. So that's going up C, D, E, F. So if I want to play a C, I have to think backwards. C, B, and then a G. So I have to play a G major scale. A jam over the top of it. Now most instruments are going to be concert pitch, but just to go over those 3, you got B flat instruments, E flat instruments, and F instruments. Now the B flat, another way to think about this, actually going back to the trumpet, would be thinking about key signatures. Now when we play a C note on the trumpet, it actually sounds a B flat major scale. So what we could think about is the key of B flat majors, B flats and E flats. So it's almost as if this horn has 2 flats stuck in the horn. When I play a C major scale on the trumpet, it sounds a B flat major scale. So what that is a difference of 2 flats. So B flat major scale has B flat and E flat in it. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. So what I could think about to play over this too, is another way to think about it is C majors, no flats, no sharps. If I want to play in the key of C on the trumpet, I have to add 2 sharps to cancel out 2 flats stuck in this horn, kind of with a B flat major. So for C, no flats, no sharps, I have to add 2 sharps to that key, and if I do that, then I'm in D major. So I can just go, okay, well, C major, okay, I got 2 flats stuck in the horn, I got to add 2 sharps to cancel them out. Jam over the top of that with D major. So if we're in a different key, like if we were in the key of G major, for instance, if we're in the key of G major instead of C major, now we have to think, okay, well, G major's got 1 sharp, so, and I've got 2 flats stuck in the horn, so I have to add 2 more sharps to cancel out the 2 flats. So the key with 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, will be the key of A major. So if you want to jam over G on a B flat trumpet, you have to think kind of through the work in the A major. That can be a little weird, especially if you're not used to transposition, but you kind of think about the relationship to keys. So for the saxophone, for instance, we want to jam over a G major scale. With the saxophone, we've got 3 flats in the horn, so that's a little weird. We're kind of keyed in E flat major. So now we've got 1 sharp in the key, G major, and then what we'll have to do is add another 3 sharps to cancel out the 3 flats that are in the horn. So we've got to think E major. That can be a little weird. And if we're going to do it on our F horn, so now my horn actually has 1 flat stuck in it for the key, because I'm an F horn, so I got F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. It's my F major scale. I want to get to the key of G major with 1 sharp, so I have to add another sharp to cancel out the flat that's in my horn. So now I have to think D major. kind of moving between the keys. This is Munson with Munson Music, and I hope you kind of find some things on jam tracks that you can kind of jam out on your instrument at the end of the day, kind of see what you can say with your instrument, and kind of thinking about scales more as alphabets and chords more as words, kind of as a concept. So best of luck, and thanks for watching Munson Jam Tracks.